Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here, coming live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. We're going to get into a couple different topics that I wanted to talk about, but obviously before we get into all that, I want to mention a few things. Okay, excuse me. So first of all, I just want to mention that this is a very family friendly channel. So please be decent. Please be kind to each other in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you do that, my awesome moderators will boot you out of here. Okay, because we don't tolerate that on my channel. So this is probably not going to have as much light as I normally do because obviously I'm doing this from a hotel room. So, but I did a video when we got here tonight, and I show you the hotel room, and we're up on the 21st floor, and show you the view that we have and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, if you get the opportunity to come to Myrtle Beach, the very best time to come is in the off season, because the prices. I mean, if it was middle of summer, peak season, there's no way I get this room because I couldn't afford it. There's just absolutely no way. It would be like ridiculous, the cost of it. The price that I paid for this room greatly reduced being in the off season, and to us, 55, 60 degrees is awesome. So especially when it's 35 back home. So it's. But anyway, so I did do a video of the hotel room and showed you. I take you out on the balcony and I show you our view and stuff like that. So I will post that probably. I may post that first thing in the morning, because we're leaving here in the morning, and I'm going to my buddy Reese's house, and we're going to spend a night there, and then from there we're going up and we're going to spend a couple days up at Choo Choo's place. So if just giving you guys kind of. So today we're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're going to still be in Carolina tomorrow. I won't tell you the town because I don't, for my buddy where he's at. And then after that we're going to be in Tennessee. So, and then I start working my way north after that. So, people that have asked a couple things just to get, if you haven't seen, Eddie did not join us on this trip. He does not like crowds, a lot of different things. He doesn't handle it well. So he decided to stay home. And because of the fact that he's old enough to make that decision now, I said, that's fine. So that's why Eddie's not with us. So it's Heather and I on this trip. And we're having a nice time. I'll be honest with you. It's been even though we're driving a lot, like today 5.5 hours today, 5.5 hours a day before that. We drove, I think it was almost 6 hours a day before that. So not horrible, but, it is what it is. But, we just, we have a kind of a game plan that we wanted to do. And I had never been in Nags Head, North Carolina. So I said, well, and obviously Heather had neither. So we decided to go there, and that's what we decided to do. So now when I get to Tennessee, I'm not sure if I'm going to have Wi-Fi or not. Okay. So just want to give people a heads up on that. So there may not be videos on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'll let you know. I mean, I don't know myself yet, so we'll have to kind of just play it by ear. We're going to go from there. So anyway, we're, having a really nice time, and kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. First, we're going to get into two different topics that I really wanted to talk about, and then we're, go off on our own tangent like we normally do anyway. But if you guys, welcome down here in the South. I'm going to tell you what, I love the South. I used to live in North Carolina, and I absolutely love the South. So it's same kind of people in the area that I live in, just very down to earth, very homey people, good-hearted people. So, that's, but depending on where you are, you're going to find that wherever you are. Generally, there's always going to be decent people, and so that's a good thing. So anyway, so I want to touch base on a couple of things here, but if you are not subscribed to the channel, obviously please do so. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. We're like at 250 in here with 75 thumbs up. So If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet button, please do so. I would appreciate that. I lived in High Point, North Carolina when I was little. Oh, that's cool. Camper Hollow. How you doing tonight? Uh, but anyway, so warning to all: Iran is hacking all American banks. Keep an eye out for your bank accounts. JJ just said that Iran's okay. So we're gonna get into the whole Iran thing in a little while. We're gonna talk about that situation in a minute and talk about what some people have said. What kind of, if you're looking at the whole situation, we're gonna get into all of that. Okay. Oh, and I did go back and watch the earlier video, and you don't hear what Heather said or the gesture she made to me because I was laughing at her when she soaked her boots in the ocean because she didn't get out of the way fast enough. So, but it was not nice. But thank goodness nobody heard that. So anyway, first thing I want to talk about, and I've talked about, this is something that it's very concerning to me just because of the travel that we have around the world where people are traveling constantly, especially flying for different parts of the world for business and whatnot, stuff like that. So China has reported a mysterious virus that it's a breakout obviously in China. Okay. There have been 44 cases of a viral pneumonia of unknown origin. So that in itself is kind of scary. But there's a couple things in here that kind of pull it all together. But they have this virus that's happened. They don't know what's causing the virus and stuff like that. And it is, giving people, they're having high temperatures. They're having, flu-like symptoms. Okay. So Hong Kong, Mako, Macho, if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Taiwan, South Korea, Singapore, and Malaysia, they're enacting stricter control on the border with temperature screening on all flights now I'm going to spell this out because I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right. It's the WUHN. So it's Wuhan. In China, it's in Central Hubei province. And I'm probably not going to say that right, so that's why I wanted to spell it. So in that province, that's where this originated, okay? So the Chinese official said Friday that all the patients, or 11 patients, remained in critical condition with respiratory and trachea infection symptoms, okay? Including fever and breathing difficulty. So if you're having that kind of thing from that area, and it's all coming from this one province, well, what they've narrowed it down to, and there's also 5 people that got it in Hong Kong that had recently visited that WUHAN province in China. Okay, they're saying that most of the outbreak or people that were affected were working in a seafood wholesale market, and it has since been shut down. Okay, but it would also, that same market also sold rabbits, snakes, and pheasants. So I mean, now I'm going to tell you what, China is not always forthcoming with a degree of a breakout if there's something going on. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that's what they do. They give a lot of false information. But if they're admitting that, this outbreak, and like I said, unknown origin virus that's happening, that's causing, trach problems, fever, it's causing breathing difficulties, that's some scary stuff. And especially when they don't know what the source of it is. So don't eat Chinese food. Well, there's some weird stuff that Chinese people eat that a lot of times the way that they do with fish and stuff like that. But think about this too, guys. You think about all the pollutants that are in the sea over on that side of the world, from Fukushima and all that type of stuff. That's some scary stuff. So, there's a lot that could be coming from that. You just don't know. But definitely something, I'm going to tell you what, a pandemic of some sort is really, really high on my list of concerns, just because of the fact that that is something that could affect us so negatively really, really quickly. Now, they were saying the incubation period on this virus, it's like 2 weeks where they're fine, and then all of a sudden they're having these breakouts. So these people are going to that province, and then they went home, and then all of a sudden they had the breakout of this virus. And like I said, when you have when you have unknown origin of where it's coming from, so you can't trace it down to figure out, what the source is. That's kind of scary. Ate shellfish once, got so sick. Lucky me, found one of the bad ones. Mr. Rose said that. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I absolutely love seafood. Absolutely love it. So, yeah, I know that China had. Schmitty said that China's hogs are dying. They're buying American. Yeah, I know that they had a lot. They had to put down a tremendous amount of hogs over there because of some kind of swine flu. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on. What is the virus called? I don't think that they had a name for it. I didn't see any name for the virus because usually they don't name it. Moonlight asked that question. They don't usually name it till they have the source of it and they can kind of identify what kind of virus that it is. But I'm going to tell you what, I know that when I was sick in earlier in December, it was a virus. And so, people were speculating what was wrong and what I should be doing and stuff like that. But I knew it was a virus because of the way it made me feel. And, you just have to ride that out. And it's not fun. And it's, it sucks. It really does. But there's not a whole lot you can do. JJ said its name's called something Wong. Yeah, right. Exactly. That's very funny. Good joke. I like that. So, let's see. I said that in the 2020s we're the shift decade, and it looks like it's going to be right, unfortunately. Well, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that possibly could go wrong and stuff like that. So, okay, so we're going to talk about the Iran situation a little bit here, and what's going on in Iraq and stuff like that, which I think is freaking hilarious to a degree. Some of it, and I'm going to talk about what I think is hilarious. So we killed this general in Iraq that obviously was involved in a lot of very nefarious activities, against the United States, which that's a fact. Okay, that's not debatable. That's not. I mean, the simple fact that he was in Iraq working on stuff there, they knew he was there, and so they decided to take him out because they had the opportunity to do so. Okay, and then you have celebrities like Rose McGowan, who was on Charmed, big deal, right? She gets on there and she's apologizing to Iran. I'm just like, first of all, and I'm going to say this again, and it's like, and I don't get it. Like these Hollywood celebrities, why do they think that we care what they think? And who are they to apologize for the rest of us when we do something that takes out somebody that's trying to hurt and kill Americans? I don't get. I really don't get it. I really don't. But he was at the embassy attack. He coordinated it. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, he was involved in a lot of different things. And it's like, so they're saying that hundreds of thousands of people were there mourning his death. Not all Iranians were mourning his death. Okay, a great example of that would be, let's say, and I'm just going to say this, let's say something happened to the president. You're going to have half the country that's going to be very upset and sad about it, and the other half of the country is going to rejoice. I mean, so it's that same type of thing over there. You have a gentleman that was in a position of power. So what I want you to remember, too, recently, really, really recently, Iran did a huge crackdown on their own country because people were upset because they raised the gas prices. Remember? I don't know if you guys remember that or not, where they literally killed the internet, killed communication so people couldn't organize and talk to each other, and then they went in there and they put their boot down on those people. And so that way people couldn't put it out there in the world for the world to see. Those things happen with tyrannical governments, okay? So, that's something to think about. I mean, it's like everybody wants to complain about the U.S. so much all the time, but even if you're an idiot, you're still getting out there and they're allowing you to protest. Okay? So, and there's groups out there that are doing stupid stuff here in the United States. So, Obviously, they're not attacking and killing people, which if they did, I think they'd be squashed in a hurry because the government's not going to allow that. But that's just my opinion on that. Now, the thing that I found hilarious about the situation was that the Iraqi government, and it's funny because it's dominated by the Shiites, okay? And so they voted 170-0 to expel American troops from Iraq. Now, why do I find that hilarious? I don't care what government that they have in place in Iraq. We, the United States, are in charge in Iraq, and we're not going anywhere. So I find that hilarious, that they do this whole thing, and a lot of these other smaller, the Shiites are the ones that have the total control because they dominate the government. So the other ones didn't even show up to vote. So I think out of 300 and something, these 170 showed up. So the vote was 170-0 because the other ones just didn't even show up to vote. But yeah, it's just, we're not going anywhere. We're not leaving Iraq. We are not leaving Iraq. And again, I received a bunch of, messages from people saying, oh, you better cut your vacation short. Something's going to go on and, you don't want to be out on the road. And I appreciate that. I really, truly do. But I want you guys to remember something. What we are being fed is what they want us to see. It happens constantly, okay? They want you to be afraid. They do want you to be afraid. So if you're afraid, you're easier to control, okay? I'm not going to live my life in fear. I'm not. That's not how I am. That's not who I am. This was a planned vacation. No matter what's happening in the world. And now, don't get me wrong. If we had some kind of a nuclear type of attack here, I'm getting home as soon as I possibly can. So don't get me wrong on that. That would absolutely be the case, okay? But, because they're yelling over there, we're going to retaliate and we're going to do something, they need to tread very, very carefully. And I've talked about this before. I saw a meme today, and I'm going to share it with you. And I thought it was kind of funny. What is flat, black, and glows? What is flat, black, and glows? And the answer was Iran if they're not careful. So again, Iran may talk a big game, but, we were in Vietnam for 12 years, Iraq for 18. Yeah, and we're still in Iraq. And look how long we've been in Afghanistan. Same type of situation, okay? Again, why are we in these elongated periods of time? Let's think about it again. And we've talked about this, but I'm going to share again. The reason that we are in these long conflicts now, and they never end, because we are not allowed to take the gloves off and take care of business, okay? If we were, the United States would be a lot bigger, and the rest of the world would be really, really scared. Because if we fought the way that we were truly capable of fighting, there realistically is nobody that could stop us. They really couldn't. Because if you control the resources and all that type of stuff, that's how it goes. Now, obviously, if we started to do that, we would be like Nazi Germany. So we have to be careful in that aspect. So we get into these wars or conflicts, and we stay forever and ever and ever because the longer we stay, it's about money. So the rich get richer. Boeing and Lockheed Martin and those type of businesses are making a tremendous amount of money off these conflicts. So the longer that we stay there, the more money they're making. So for them, that's a win. And as I've said before, their sons and daughters are not the ones going over to fight. Okay? It's our sons and daughters. It's small town, middle class, poor. It is suburbia and city kids. Those are the ones that are going and fighting for our country. So, better the bombers than the bomb. Exactly. You know what? And I'm going to tell you what, Thomas Bez, we don't even have to put boots in the ground over there. We really wouldn't. And they would attack our Navy ships. Of course they would. But if they make that mistake, they're going to get thumped on, and they're going to get thumped on hard. And, and as the United States goes, they're going to not target the Iraqi people. or the Iranian people. They're not going to target them. They're going to go after those are the ones that are in charge. That's who they're going to target. Okay, and watch the All in the Family a while on the couch. Sick today. A lot of that show is relevant today. You know what's funny about that is like he just said it like it was, and you couldn't put a show like that out there now because all the snowflakes would have their feelings hurt and they'd be all upset. So you know that's not a politically correct show in this day and age. You look at a show like The Jeffersons, the same type of thing. You couldn't put that show out there today because it's not politically correct. So you know it's just it was a time where if somebody made a joke that they didn't flip out about it and act like a baby and stop their hands and their feet and cry. And another good thing, Harvey Weinstein, I think his trial's getting ready to start now. And so, you know, he's going to be getting his, which he deserves, in my opinion. You know, those people, Hollywood is a cesspool. It really, truly is. And all those people that a lot of people idolize, what they had to do to get to where they got, a lot of us wouldn't be willing to do it. But some, because of that power and glory and fame, they will. And, you know, so that's just the way it goes. So, yeah, those were the days, exactly. And they were. Tom is saying that Espen is alive. Well, that's not what they're saying. Who knows? I don't know. You know, never take any threats for granted. Always stay prepared and ready. No, I agree with you on that, JJ. And I'm going to tell you what. I guarantee you that our military, our Air Force, our Marines are all on high alert right now. They're absolutely all on high alert, okay? And they're ready for whatever retaliatory response that we need to do if something happens. But I'm going to tell you, realistically, Iran is going to tread very, very carefully with their response, if you will. They're going to stand there and sword rattle just like the little dictator up in North Korea does. But has he done anything yet? No, because he knows what will happen if he does. And it's the same thing with Iran. They know what will happen if they do. So, you know, let's see. I loved All in the Family and The Jeffersons. Oh, I did too. I thought they were funny. They were great shows. You know, they were fun to watch. Chico and the Man. What was the other one? Sanford and Son. That was a great show too. Funny. Just, you know, and just the wit and the comedy and stuff like that and the busting the chops and stuff. Very, very funny. Any comment about ISIS cells in the U.S.? Sierra Gold asked that question. I will guarantee you 100% that there are cells in this country. Absolutely 100%. You know, and if something like that happens, you know, they will take care of that. And then if they find out where that was directed from or came from, they will take care of that. I would not be shocked if something happened within the United States. Absolutely not. Look at all these people that hate the United States of America that they let in. And this is what I find interesting, okay? They hate us, but they sure love our benefits, don't they? So, you know, unbelievable. But 22 known training camps, Tubular Guy 9 said. Yeah, they're all over the place, you know, and they absolutely hate the United States. And so that's what just absolutely blows me away, that this is allowed, you know. It's just, you know, well, you look at the different attacks that have happened and, you know, and the different things that have gone on here. And, you know, and then it goes right back and the family's like, well, I don't know why he did that. Well, yeah, because they're indoctrinated. They're groomed. They're taught from an early age that America is the bad guy, even if they live here. So, you know, it's sad. There used to be an ISIS training camp in Branch County, Michigan. Smitty just said that. Let's see. But yeah, it's just, you know, there's definite threats to Americans in America. And that is another great reason of why we need to be able to protect ourselves. If you have an organized group of people decide to do something, you better have a way to defend yourself and the people that you care about. And I'm going to tell you right now, those type of people better be really, really careful if they try to do that type of stuff in the United States, because our government may have to fight in a certain way, but you would see really, really quickly what the American people, how they would handle that type of a threat. In known camps where there's known camps, they would be squashed really quickly. And it wouldn't be the military that did it. It'd be the average American citizen that said, enough is enough is enough. And that's, I'm telling you, I mean, that's my opinion, but I really, truly believe that's how it would go down. If they pulled off some kind of nonsense and really hurt a bunch of people, and like Tubular Guy 9 said, there's 22 camps. So they know where those camps are. People in the area know where those camps are. So you don't think that if there was some kind of situation that happened, that there wouldn't be some kind of payback at those type of camps as well? There absolutely would be. And, they could be training there all day long, but when you have the number of military vets, now you think about it, now we just talked about 18 years in Iraq alone. All right. Now think about, I want you guys to think about this. Just let's talk about the young men, 18, 19, let's say even 20, let's say they were 20 years old when they went over there. Okay. So you have 20-year-old men went over there, did their time, got out of the service. There's a veteran sitting there. That veteran right now is only 40 years old. All right. They're trained. They know what to do. They've seen combat. They know how to deal with situations. You think that if something jumped off here in the States with sleeper cell groups, that all those veterans that are all over this country, you don't think that they would rise up and do something about it, regardless of what their politics are? Because in the military, there's all kinds. There's you got your Republicans, Democrats, liberals, hardcore conservative. You got your alt-right, your alt-left. All those people are in the military. Okay, so that's something to think about. There are a lot of veterans out there. And I'm going to tell you what, even your veterans that are 60s, 70s, your Vietnam era, veterans, they're still out there. They know what to do. Let's see. Middle East student attacked Arizona State Police and got dead. Well, you look at, there was a video that was recently, a gentleman attacked, there was a gentleman that attacked a police officer with a knife, and he tried to de-escalate it, and he tried to stop it, okay, and he had to take the guy out. That to me, that's always suicide by cop. That is always suicide by cop. So, like I said, you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen. So it's just, it's a sad situation. Any gun talk while you were in Virginia, Ed? I wasn't really in. I mean, I passed through Virginia, but I really didn't hear a lot of talk. I mean, I was in Washington D.C., so that's that's right there on the border of Virginia, obviously. But we had some conversations about that when I was in D.C. And the situation and stuff like that. It's a crazy situation. Someone breaks into our household and it's suicide by moonlight, and his handle, guys, is moonlight. So I think that's, and I don't blame you. You need to protect what is yours. Let's see what we got. 2020 should be an interesting year, JJ said. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. It's going to be a very interesting year. Who knows what's going to happen, guys? We don't know. We can only speculate. We can, I'm a big believer, and I've talked about this a lot. You prepare for the worst, and you hope for the best. And again, and I'm going to say this, and I've said, and a lot of times what I say, I'm repeating myself, but it's okay. I'm going to continue to repeat myself, and I'm going to hopefully it sinks in. Don't prepare out of fear, okay? Because whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and none of us are going to stop it, okay? So don't do anything out of fear. Do it organized, planned out, get ready as best that you can with whatever time we have left. Every day that goes by that we have is another day to prepare, okay? And again, and I've talked about this a lot, when you have grandkids, you never fall asleep. My toenails are purple. That's funny. Well, you know what? With kids, I'm going to tell you what, and so we'll talk about kids for a second, and then we can bring grandkids into it too. Now, I don't have any grandkids yet, but one day I'm sure I will. Happy and safe travels to both of you. Jay Jeep just said that, and thank you, Jay Jeep, for that donation. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. When you have kids, it doesn't stop when they turn 18. When they move off and go on, if they go into the military, if they go off to college, then when they get married and they have their own children, you never stop worrying about them. I was telling Heather the other day, I said to her, I go, you know what? I said, you could be 50 years old, and when she's 50 years old, I would be 86 if I'm still here. I said, you will always be my baby. They're my babies, and that's just the way it is. That never changes. You will always worry about them. You're always going to be concerned. You're always going to be thinking of them, watching out for them, trying to give them good advice, trying to steer them in the right direction. And that's what we should, that's our job. That's our job. Because we've lived life and we're older and we've seen things that they haven't seen. They have no idea. And then, Schmitty brought up grandkids. When you have grandkids, it's just another extension that you can just give more love, but you worry about them too, just like you would do with your children. I'm going to tell you what, and I've said this, guys, and I'm not just blowing smoke when I say this. The single greatest thing that I've ever accomplished in my life, ever, anything that I've done, is being a dad. That is the truest blessing that I have ever had, because I didn't have my kids till I was 36. And so before then, when it was just me, all I had to worry about was me. But when you have this baby, or babies in my case, because we had the twins, and you're holding this little thing in your hands, and you can see you in that little bundle of screaming and crap and everything else, okay? It changes you, or it should. Okay, because it changed me. I'm going to tell you what, fundamentally, 100%, having those kids changed me. It completely changed my thinking. It completely changed my priorities with everything in my life. And, and that's a good thing. And I never, ever, ever regret any of it. And if I had to do it all over again, would I have gotten with their mother and done the same thing? Absolutely, I would have. Why? Because I have Eddie and Heather. That's why, because that's it, so, but that's just me. So I'm getting on my soapbox with that one, but I think it's important. Because I'm going to tell you what, like my one buddy that I've known him forever and a day, and he knew me back in my single days before I ever even got married the first time. And he said to me, he goes, man, I'm going to tell you what, he said, when you had the kids, you changed. And he goes, and for the better. And you know what? And he's known me forever. So, that was a really, really good compliment. And I appreciated that. I really, truly did. So. Oh, somebody's making up crap again. Where's Little Prepper Lady? Is she done with YouTube? Old Nick, I think so, to be honest with you. She is in college. She's going to be a veterinary technician. And so she's focusing on that. I saw her just before Christmas. We were in town. Heather and I were in town, and we saw her, and we stopped and talked to her for a little bit. And, she's focusing on school, which is her choice, obviously. So that's where she's at. But, but yeah, she's doing okay. We all have to make decisions on what's the best direction to go with our lives. And so, Little Prepper Lady, in all honesty, could not handle the trolls that are on YouTube. They let her get to her. And the more you do it, the bigger you get, the worse it gets with the trolls. And I'll be honest with you, okay? Be it jealousy, envy, or they're just being jerks. Who knows? You know what I mean? But some people can hack it and some can't. And she could not, unfortunately. And I think that's too bad, because I think if she had changed her direction a little bit, the way she was doing her channel, she could have been very, very successful at it. I really think she could have been. But, We all make choices, and she decided to bow out, and I have to respect that. But she's a good person. She's doing okay. So it's a shame to see how Trump is a target of so many hateful people. Well, Terrence Parker Jr., you know what? No matter who the president is, I don't care. You go back all the way through back to the beginning of it. Some people like the president, some people don't. But I can honestly say, in my lifetime, and from what I've seen in my lifetime, the galvanization of hatred towards a president has never, been as high as it is now. I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't, and it's a shame. It really is, because it is what it is. So it's not going to change, and that's unfortunate. So Jefferson and Adams were hated. Oh, and Jefferson and Adams hated each other. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Were you alive back then? I'm only kidding. No. I mean, and there's a history, and it'll say different things, and they'll show you different things. But yeah, right, and exactly, Kat, you're right. You can't make everyone happy. Like a buddy of mine said to me, he said, because I'll tell him different stuff that I get, because we talk, that, and I'll say, oh my God, I got to read you this, email that I got, or I got to read you this message that I got, or tell him about the message, and I'll say to him, I'll go, and so I'll tell him what the person said, and he goes, dude, he says, you have 75,000 subscribers. You are not going to make everybody happy, and he's right. And so, I had somebody the other day, and I don't know how long they'd been a subscriber, if it was a BS account or whatever, but he was like, oh, I've been following you for a while, even though I've never recognized the name. I've never seen him make a comment, of course. What you did was the last straw, and I'm leaving your channel. Again, my big thing is we can always agree to disagree. I don't expect all of you to agree with everything that I say every single time. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? That's not a realistic expectation, but you're going to have that. And, and some people are a little bit too delicate and can't handle it. And so if they can't handle it, then they feel that they have to leave, then that's what they got to do. I wish them luck, and I hope that they can find a channel that is good, they can agree with 100% of the time. So remember that all arguing in the First Continental Congress. Oh yeah, there was a ton. People couldn't agree on what they wanted to do. They couldn't agree, and that's the whole thing. You look at the way the Congress and the Senate go at it now. And it's usually divided through party lines, of course. And like I remember, and I'm sure a lot of you saw this as well. There was, when President Trump was giving an address to, I think it was Congress or the White House, and they were all there. Okay, the Senate and the Congress were all there. And there was a Democratic woman, of course, so when the president would make a point, then people would clap and stuff like that and stand up. And of course, all the Democrats sat down, didn't clap or whatever and stuff like this. So this one woman who was a Democrat was standing up and she was clapping. And you could read the lips of the person who was also a Democrat, another woman, sitting next to her, and she looked up at her and she said, "Watch your A," meaning your butt, but in the other term. And you could read her lips and clearly see that what she was saying. So she was like basically saying, sit down, shut up, and that's it. Where are we tonight? We are in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's where we are, right on the ocean. Like I said, I mentioned it earlier, I did a video of the hotel room, which I will put up later. And again, I'm going to mention that this hotel room that we got, we are in off season. If it was prime time season, we would never be in this hotel room. We got this at a really, really great price. And so that's why we're in this room. But it was not anywhere near what it would be if we came during peak season. So, and if we ever came in peak season, we wouldn't be in this room, just so you guys know. Guys, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I see we're at like 560 people in the chat. If you haven't done so yet, if you would throw me a thumbs up, I would appreciate that. I see, what are we at? 254. on the thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I would appreciate that as well. Make sure you hit that bell icon. YouTube is doing their thing again like they do. And I know it's not just my channel. They're doing it to a lot of channels. It is what it is, and it's a game we have to play, and that's what we just have to do. But make sure you're still. Are you going to visit Prepper Rabbit? Well, we had talked about that. If I'm in that area, I probably will stop by and see him. I'm not sure how close I'm going to be, so I'm gonna have to talk with him about that. So we'll have to see. But if we're close to that area, I might stop in there and see him. Like I said, I'm not sure yet where we're going to be. Well, I know we're going to be in a certain place for a couple days, and it's not really that close to where he's at. So, we'll have to see what happens with that. But if I get the chance, we may get together. We'll have to talk and coordinate all that, because I got some other places that I have to stop at as well, and other people that I'm going to be visiting. So I'm kind of like making the rounds in a big circle. So, and I am networking at the same time, guys, and it's important to do that. And I've talked about that a lot with, you guys. And if you can get together with the right group of people to network and agree to work together, I think it's important to do that. Gonna see Marv? Well, he's on the West Coast there, Schmitty, and we're not driving out that far. Ed, I love you, but your mods are out of control. As always, I'll be praying for you and your family. I don't know why you say that they're out of control. They want people to be decent in the chat. So they're, getting rid of people that are saying hateful things. I don't want anybody to say anything hateful to anybody. That's not necessary. So, so I don't know what you're meaning that they're out of control. I don't know what you meant. Ever been to Asheville, North Carolina? My friends live there. Oh yeah, Sierra Gold. I absolutely have been up there. I have. Let me ask you this, Sierra Gold. Have you ever been to Chimney Rock? That is one of the places in Asheville that I went to that is absolutely gorgeous. It's stunning, unbelievably, stunningly beautiful. And I actually talked about with Heather. He knows what's going on, Mr. Rose said. Okay. I told Heather that if we get that opportunity to hit that area on our way through, we may do that, because I'd love for her to see that. There is a river that goes down through that area as you're driving up into Asheville, that there are boulders bigger than houses in this river. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And it's like the only way to describe it is if the hand of God came down, took that rock and said, I'm putting it right here. And that's what it looks like. I mean, it's unbelievably beautiful in that area. So if you ever get an opportunity to get up to Asheville, North Carolina, please do so. I went down there when I lived in that area. No worries, Ed. The trolls are acting like mosquitoes again. Good. That's good. I'm glad to see that. Well, they play their games and they try, and then we got to block them, and then they stop. That's, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate that you guys watching the chat and reading the comments see morons, because that's what people that do that type of stuff are, come in there to try to disrupt things, and it's unnecessary, and you shouldn't have to tolerate it. And that's why I have my moderators here on top of stuff. Delbert Jones said, yes, Ed, I live not too far from Chimney Rock. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's just a beautiful, beautiful area. Here's something I want you guys to think about. Anybody that lives in the United States, anybody, you could spend a lifetime traveling the United States and never see everything. There are so many absolutely gorgeous places to visit, great things to see, and, if you look at the United States, we're bigger than Europe, obviously, okay? And we have so many unique cultures within inside of our own continent, all right, our own country here. But the people are, for the most part, are decent people wherever you go. I've talked about San Francisco, and I said that it's a cesspool, and I couldn't stand San Francisco. But at the same time, there are decent people in San Francisco. The part of San Francisco that I saw, I would never have a desire to see that part again. Now, when we went down to San Simeon, California, it was gorgeous. It was beautiful, beautiful area. Okay, it was just absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, there's good and bad everywhere. So, but it's like there's so much you could see just in the United States. It is amazing. And when I did the tour 2 years ago, and I told you guys I'm doing 4 motorcycle tours this year. When you see these people come over from the UK, and they're used to a small island, realistically, okay, and then they get on a motorcycle here, and you're driving, and you're doing 1,500, 2,000 miles in 2 weeks. You just they're blown away. They're absolutely blown away because it's unbelievable to see, and the sights that we have in the United States is just incredible as well. What do we got here? I missed something, but yeah, like I said, anywhere you're going to go, guys, there's going to be good and bad. I'm only 70 minutes west of South Lake Tahoe. Oh, that's cool. Very, very cool. Like I said, Heather's right here. She was actually napping. She just got up a little while ago. I heard her go into the bathroom. It's been a long day again. We've been driving, and she's still a young lady, so she gets tired. So she crashed out. We may actually go back out again when I'm done with the live stream here. We've talked about it. We're not sure if we're going to head back out or not. So what do we have? 319 on the thumbs up. We got 528 people in the chat. Guys, if you haven't yet, if you would do it, throw me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. Ed, we love to collect the quarters with the national parks. Do you guys? Actually, Lori Austin, I've been a coin collector my whole life. I love coins. The one that I've collected, I got a bunch of them, and I'll still periodically I'll get them. 1976, because it's the bicentennial year quarter. Love getting that one, so I got a ton of those. I'm always checking my change, of course. Anything 1964 or older, that's 90% silver. Actually, last year in my changes, and I would go through it, and I pulled a quarter out last year, 1964, 90% silver. So I'm always doing that. On this trip, I've picked up some more silver. We went to that flea market, and there was, of course, there's always going to be somebody that's selling silver at the flea market. So, I got some more of the dimes, the junk dimes for the lightweight for trading. I added a few more silver dollars too. So, and I love doing that. For me, it's fun. And like I told Heather while we were there, I said, one day, all that's going to be yours and Eddie's. I said, so please don't just give it away because it's worth something, so. Good night, Ed from Coldwater, Michigan. Hey, Schmitty. Hey, good night, buddy. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Looking forward to the Prepper get-together. Definitely on my list this year. Honor Prepper. That's cool because I was just actually talking today. Actually, I was talking to Choo Choo about this today. I said, now that we're past the first of the year, when I get back home, I can book when I'm going to do that. And I think we're going to do it in July. That's when I'm going to book the Prepper get-together for this year. I'm going to let everybody know. Everybody's going to have plenty of notice. I'm hoping that we get a bigger turnout. I'm sure we will this year than we did last year. We had an absolutely fantastic time last year. It was just incredible. And people traveled great distances to come. And it was awesome. And it was a great get-together. And you had people from different parts of the country that had never met each other, and everybody was hanging out together and just talking, and it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. So all right. So Rolex Gaming needs to be taken care of there, guys. Thank you. And that's a childish thing that's very, very sad, to be honest with you, because obviously his parents didn't raise him right, and so it's very, very sad. Yeah, thank you, JJ, for taking care of that. Unbelievable. Like I said, they're like children, and sometimes you have to scold children and punish them if they misbehave. And so, like I said, apparently some of these people are just, like I said, they're like little kids, which is very, very sad. But what are you going to do? So, what model Harley do you ride and what year? I have a 2015 Heritage Softail. That is my toy. I love my bike. If you watch 15 years from now, I will still have that bike. I may have another bike at that point, but I will still have that bike. I absolutely love that bike and really enjoy riding. If some of you ride and you know what I'm talking about when I say this, some of you have no idea. But if you're having a bad day and you're frustrated and you're upset and you jump on that motorcycle and just go for a ride, okay? It absolutely is a great way to decompress because you're focused on your ride, because you have to be. If you're on a motorcycle, you have to pay attention. And you don't think about that BS or the crap that's going on in your life or at work or wherever or in the world, okay? You just focus on the ride. And it's just, and if you're looking around and just seeing the beauty of nature and stuff, it's awesome. It is. There's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. So, BSA Lightning for me. That's great. You know what? I don't care, guys, if you ride a moped. If you are out there and you're on two wheels, my hat's off to you. Because, get that wind in your face. There is nothing like it. Nothing like it. Here she is. You want to come over here and say hi? People are asking about you. You heard?
Don't look cute. Tell me I don't look cute.
Well, you were sleeping. And after your fiasco in the water when you were attacked by the waves, you're traumatized still.
Oh, yeah. It's rough.
So there's Heather. She is alive. She is here.
Alive, not cute.
Hey, Wetfoot. That's funny, Kevin H. just said.
Yeah, that one will stick.
Have you thought about doing a cross-country YouTube prepper meetup? I down the road, I would say yes, where I would set something up somewhere central part of the country and then maybe something on the West Coast. Down the road, I definitely would like to do that. I want to see how this one goes this year. I definitely want to make it an annual thing for the prepper get-together. And you can see a lot more on a bike than you can in a vehicle. Oh, absolutely. You smelling everything, all of that. It's just, it's an awesome way to do it. It's an awesome way to travel. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very enjoyable. All right, so we're at 356 on the thumbs up. We got to get this up to 400, guys. Got to see if we can jump that up to 400 here before we jump off.
Do it for my trauma.
Do it for your trauma. Yeah. And do it, too, because the trolls hate it. They can't stand it, so it's a fun thing to do for them. Now, I made a comment. I was talking about the trolls and talking about I appreciate them actually watching and stuff like that. And somebody says, oh, well, they don't watch. They just come on there and give the thumbs down and then they leave. Well, number one, that's an interaction. So that helps my channel, positive or negative. That helps the channel. And number two, there are certain ones that do watch every single video that I do because when they write me and tell me how awful and horrible I am, they give details of why. So, that's what they do. Would you ride a one-wheeled motorcycle if it existed? You know what? I don't know if I would or not. I like the two wheels. I like the way it feels. When you shift into turns and stuff like that. So, yeah, I like. Well, I know they do have one-wheeled stuff, but not really for being out really riding. That's not really. It's just like for me. Okay, some guys ride trikes. Okay, that's not riding to me. What?
People are asking stuff of me.
Oh,
here,
okay.
I do miss Bella. My boyfriend is good.
Does Heather ride motorcycle? Yes, and she loves it.
Why would you interrupt me?
Keep going. Done. Keep going then. Excuse me, miss.
People ask me about my boyfriend right now. He lives in the basement of his house, very classy, and there's water leaking all into it, so he's having a good time, and I'm not there. And I don't know anything about Psy-Chi. Someone's asked about that. I know it's like Psychology Honors Society. I'm not in that yet, but
that's called a unicycle.
I will say that at college, there's a lot of people that skateboard but it'll be one big wheel. It's like automatic, it's one big wheel in the middle.
Yeah,
They ride it like that.
yeah.
So I don't know what the whole big thing is. One wheel is.
Have you seen the new Tesla truck, an awesome prepper vehicle? I have not seen that yet.
It's the really geometric one that everyone's like, oh, that's so ugly.
Oh, I hadn't seen it.
He's probably seen it, not known.
Boom, she told you. I know, it's like my channel, she sits down and she's going to take over. Terrible. Yeah. She's getting a little uppity since she got out of college. He's the one that's all
like, you need to be on camera more, and then talks over me. My presence here is not going to be permanent, so.
You're not?
No.
Are they going to go back to school and get an education?
Yep.
That's a joke, too, just so you guys know. That's what we always called it. So she had to go to school to get an education instead of education. So it's one of our little inside jokes that we do. Stay down to earth, Heather. It's a great quality to have. Oh, yeah. She is way down to earth. Heather she's good people. Good people.
I'm excited to meet you, too. Choo-choo.
Yeah, this year. He's going to be there. Well, we're going to be there in 2 days. So
I'm aware.
Yes, that's right. But he's coming to the prepper get-together this year, Choo-choo said. He already told me he's coming. So I'm going to hold him to that for sure. So kids got to love them. Yeah, they're all right.
We're not going to Florida.
No, we're not going down to Florida.
I've never been, and I don't have any intention to go, really.
No, Florida can be fun. Florida can be fun. But,
I don't know. A little gross.
A little gross.
Mm-hmm.
A little hot. It gets hot down there, especially if you get in there in the summer. It's really hot. So, all right. So we got to do this point of the show. Always have to do it.
Hold on. There's a question I got to ask.
Oh, go ahead. Hurry up.
I am taking psychology. I'm a psychology major, so all my classes are psychology classes, pretty much. And I wear like a size 7 or a 7.5, 8 shoe size.
Yep.
Okay. Now, where are all you guys from?
Well, no, we're not doing that.
That's what you're gonna do.
We got to do the first part of it first.
Oh my goodness!
Don't let her get you jumping the gun, guys. We can't see. We have to do this in a certain order because some people like to jump the gun. Okay.
So.
All right. So, obviously, we got to ask for that thumbs up first. We got to get that up to 400, and we're at 377. So now I'm going to go into my thing, but let's jump that up to 400 on a thumbs up, guys, please. All right. We are Legion because we are many. There's many of us out here. We're all over. And again, Legion in a good way, not in a bad way like the Bible, okay? Good Legion as opposed to bad Legion. We're good, and that's what we're doing. So anyway, we're all over the country, all over the world. Where's everybody from today? We got Liverpool in the UK. We got Minnesota, West Virginia. Let's see, Rhode Island, Northern California, upstate South Carolina, Virginia. So does Michigan. We got Oregon, Indiana, Texas, Mobile, Alabama, Tennessee, Switzerland, Nashville, Tennessee. Very nice. I've been there. Love Nashville. Been to the Grand Ole Opry. We see New Zealand, Oklahoma. Let's see. Syracuse, New York. Yeah. South Jersey. We got Spain, Ohio, Buffalo, New York, Michigan. Stockton, California. Ottawa, Canada. Very nice. Kentucky. Let's see. Oakdale, California. Meridian, Mississippi. Very nice. Let's see. We got Maine, Long Island, Cleveland, Indiana, Colorado, Binghamton, New York.
Israel.
Somebody put Israel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Netherlands. Utah, Northern West Kansas. Nice. Las Vegas, Hamilton, New York. We have Massachusetts, Central North Carolina, California, Northern Maine, Florida, South Georgia. Let's see. Dansville, Illinois. Beer City, USA. Okay. Las Vegas, Germany, Ransomville, New York. So, guys, we're all over the United States. All over the world. We're a huge community of people. And I say this, we could really make a difference when the time comes. I just saw Northern Ireland. I want to make sure I get that out there. Central Indiana, New Mexico. I didn't say that one yet. Madison, Minnesota. So, we're all over the place. And when the time comes now, we can make a difference now for each other. But when the time really truly comes, we can make a huge difference helping people when the time comes. And networking, what?
He said, when the time comes, it can make a big difference helping people when the time comes.
Well, when it comes, yes.
Goes in circles when he talks, if you haven't noticed.
Well, that happens. That's what I do. So anyway, want to thank my moderators again for making sure you keep the chat clean. I appreciate you guys. You guys do an absolutely awesome job. So thank you very much for that. And what are we at? Oh, we're at 398. We need
two more.
Two more.
I don't have my phone. Oh, 400. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Right awesome. As we hit 1 hour.
Well, we got like 2 minutes to go down here because I always start 2 minutes early.
What I'm just saying, exactly as we hit 1 hour.
Oh, it hit 400. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So anyway, guys, yeah, he got him. Again, children. It's very sad.
What did he say?
I'll tell you later. But it happens when you talk in circles. It happens. Yeah. That's awesome. I like that.
He does it all the time, and it drives me crazy. I hear him doing videos, and he says like the same thing 3 times in one sentence, and I'm like, what?
Maybe I'm trying to make a point.
You're making a point.
See what I got to put up with here? I like it, though. It's not a bad thing. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you guys being in chat. Remember, we truly are all in this
Look at what Choo Choo said.
I'm
selling meet and greet tickets when Prep Nurse 1 and Heather come down. Just kidding.
That's funny. Also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, so we never know what's going to happen in life. So you want to make sure you tell those people every day how you feel, okay? Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish in life, it doesn't necessarily have to be about prepping or living off grid. It's whatever you are working towards, whatever goals, hopes that you have that you want to accomplish. If you work towards them, they will happen, okay? Don't listen to that negativity, because all those negative people want to do is make you unhappy like they are. Choose to be happy. I'd rather be happy than be miserable all the time. So it makes life much better. It really does.
Aloha Prepper said, circles have no points. They're on my side here.
I don't care. So anyway, keep them straight. Listen, hey, now she's going to get a whooping when I get off this camera. No, I'm only kidding. She's never, not once in her life, has she ever got a spanking. No. So anyway,
Keep him on
guys.
his toes. He'd be bored without me.
I would be. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. Again, thank you to my moderators. They do a great job, and I appreciate them as well. Have a great night, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm going to try to look for the video in the morning about the hotel room. I'm going to try to get it up before we leave here in the morning. Okay. So, and then I'll get another video up later in the day. All right. I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. And Heather. See ya.
See ya.